Hello everyone and welcome to a mini segment of Mindful Money with Max. My name is Max and I am genuinely excited to be here with you today. Today I want to talk about a simple but very powerful idea, and that is if we change the type of money that we use and how we use it, I honestly believe that we can make the world a better place. Now, there's a famous saying that money is the root of all evil, and while that's somewhat true, I don't think it's quite right. I would argue, however, that bad money, or money that is constantly being debased or easy to make more of, money that's losing value constantly, is actually responsible for many of the problems that we see in the world today. On the surface, it might look like I'm just another guy here to talk about money and try to make more of it for myself, but truly that has never been my main motivation. I've actually spent a lot of time living with monks, yogis, staying at ashrams, and traveling to places like Tibet to truly understand what real happiness and inner peace actually mean. And so, in another life, I really could see myself living as a Buddhist monk, because those are some of the happiest people that I've met in this life, consistently. These monks, these nuns, these people that have really devoted their lives to inner happiness. And those experiences made something very clear to me. True happiness does not come from money. But what I've also learned is that money heavily shapes behavior. And more specifically, money programs time preference, which is whether people think short term or whether they think long term. So what do I mean by that? Well, when people are forced to use money that steadily loses value over time, like modern fiat currencies, like the US dollar for instance, they naturally start to think short term. They focus on quick profits and immediate results instead of things like legacy, instead of things like protecting the health of other people or the environment, or just things that don't have to do with short-term survival. In a healthy system, money itself should be able to act as a store of value. People shouldn't be forced to rely on investments just to make sure that their hard-earned work stays relevant, to be able to preserve their purchasing power. Because when money actually fulfills one of those three definitions, which is a store of value, when money holds its value long-term, like it did during periods when the world operated more closely to a gold standard, people thought differently, and we have evidence of this. They think long-term when their money holds value long-term. Historically, when societies use better money, we see better outcomes for the environment. We see better outcomes for the people. We see healthier food. We see higher quality infrastructure. Things that you might not even expect. People make art built for the long term. They make homes built for the long term. They optimize for quality instead of just speed. Psychologically, good money encourages patience, stewardship, and long-term planning. Today, however, we live in a system where money loses value so quickly that people are pushed into investments as a proxy just to preserve their purchasing power and just to keep up with the rate of inflation. And that constant pressure reinforces short-term thinking. We see the consequences everywhere. We see short-term thinking seeping into things like education, healthcare, politics, everything becoming more extreme in certain ways due to this inflationary nature of the money that we're using. We even see war becoming more likely in inflationary societies. Good money literally creates more peace on earth. And I would argue time and time again that money quietly sits underneath all these issues. So that's why I'm so motivated to share these ideas, because I truly believe that we can create a happier, healthier, more abundant world if we learn to use money more properly, if we learn to use it more responsibly. One way I like to think about money is as a denser form of energy. And like any form of energy, how we use it and how we store it truly matters. As I mentioned briefly, one of the core definitions of money is that it must function as a store of value. If money can store value over long periods of time without having to rely on other investments as a proxy, then it's really functioning as money. When money fails the test of being able to store value long term, people are psychologically pushed into a scarcity mindset. They stop thinking about legacy and they start thinking about survival. They stop thinking in terms of generations and they start thinking in terms of next month's bills. They focus only on short-term gains. History gives us plenty of examples of what happens when societies use better money. And today, some people believe that a potential Bitcoin standard, or something closer to a gold standard of the past, could actually spark something more akin to the Renaissance. Just to be clear, I'm not advocating for anybody to go out and buy Bitcoin or go and buy gold, or even to go out and buy stocks. I'm just trying to raise awareness to the fact that we often don't question how we use and store money as a society, something we really just take for granted. And if we're able to raise awareness and question these ideas in better ways, we might actually be able to create a better world. So if you're interested in exploring some more of these ideas further, you can check out my book, Fast Money, Fast Times. It's available as a free audiobook here on YouTube, or you can go check it out on Amazon. I've got it available on Kindle and as a paperback copy. I go deeper into how money influences behavior, culture, and long-term outcomes, and how a better monetary system could help create a better world. Thank you again for listening, and I'll see you next time on Mindful Money with Max.